Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, we often have banter in the House, and sometimes when members pick up the comments of other members, it's recorded in Hansard. And there is actually one particular comment that was made this morning that wasn't picked up in Hansard, and I think it's very important that it does go on the record, because when my colleague Sir Roger Douglas got up to say that no matter what you think of this budget, the reality is that the media are reporting it in a good light. The media are reporting it in a good light. And if I heard correctly, I heard Steve Chadwick say, wait and see. And I think that Steve Chadwick is absolutely right, just like I think her colleague Carmel Sepuloni is right. Because Carmel Sepuloni said that all the hype will die down in 2 or 3 days, and then people will then be faced with reality. And so they won't actually have to wait until the 1st of October for the increase in GST, because the cost of living is going up from the 1st of July. That is when the emissions trading scheme is coming in. That is when Treasury forecasts that electricity will go up by 5% per year from. That is when Treasury forecasts that petrol will go up by 4 cents a litre. And so we're debating part one of this bill today. We're debating the part that increases the rate of GST. And Trevor Mallard proudly got up and he showed the increases that in GST that people will pay on various incomes. And my message this morning is to members of the National Party, because Steve Chadwick is absolutely right when she says wait and see. And there is no reference to the impact of the emissions trading scheme on people's average incomes. And I come back to page 9 of the budget document. We've just heard from the leader of the Green Party, where she said this is actually a subsidy from the poor to the rich. Well, I would say to Materia Ture, at least those people earning less than $40,000 get something. At least those people earning less than $40,000 get something, because the budget talks about an increase of 0.7%, and they're only going to have to give back 0.4%. And so at least those people, they won't get much, but at least they'll get something. But look then, sir, at that group of people on the income bracket of 40 to 85,000. Look at that group, sir. Look at that group, 40 to 85,000. The budget forecast here in black and white that they stand to get a net 0.4% out of it. And Treasury forecast that that whole benefit will be wiped out by the emissions trading scheme. And, sir, it is no wonder that members of the National Party's grassroots are revolting against the emissions trading scheme. It's no wonder that there was a resolution put at the Central North Island conference of the National Party last week calling on the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister to suspend the emissions trading scheme. And there's no wonder that the Tamaki electorate, the electorate that I live in, Alan Peachy's my local MP, have a remit before the National Party's Auckland conference in a fortnight's time. And I say to the Labour Party that Steve Chadwick is right, that Carmel Sepuloni is right, but I say to the Labour Party, actually get out and criticise the emissions trading scheme. You talk about inflation of 5.9%. Go out and tell the people that electricity is forecast to go up by 5%. Go out and tell people that petrol will go up, because people are going to see it soon. Carmel Sepuloni is right. People will not be fooled forever. They will see it, and they will see it, and I say to them as the National Party that they will see it a lot earlier than some people think they might. And to Louise Upston, who represents the electorate of Taupo, an area that has huge amounts of forestry, let me explain. Why is GST going up? Well, the reason GST is going up, Mr Speaker, is because there is an allocation of some extra $1 billion being allocated to people who planted trees in the 1990s and early 2000s, and also in the 1970s, 80s. People who have planted trees, Mr Speaker, are now retrospectively being given over $1 billion of credits for those trees. And so it's a tragedy, because there is no guarantee that the Kyoto Protocol is going to be extended. There is no guarantee that New Zealand will have any commitment beyond 2012. And what we've got here is we've got a massive wealth transfer. It's not to necessarily rich people, it's to people who planted trees in the 1990s and early 2000s without any expectation of this massive subsidy. And while the National Party politicians, the National Party MPs in this House may want to put their heads in the sand, The National members are not dumb. They see it. They see it. Paul Henry on breakfast television this morning sees it, and Steve Chadwick sees it, because she sees, but wait and see, time will tell, and people will realise that there is no net gain to them. Yes, there is a redistribution.
I call the Honourable Chris